the next question relates, some of you were touching on this a little bit, but what would you do when you had folks who were quiet or reticent during the interviews? How would you get people talking?
I think this was kind of a tricky one because you want to be careful not to use anybody's name. And it feels really uncomfortable to point at somebody and say, hey, you over there. But that's kind of what you have to do, is catch somebody's attention. And I think kind of the language that we would use is something along the lines of, hey, we would really love to hear from anybody. We haven't heard much from you. Is there anything you'd like to share? No pressure if you don't want to. And usually that person said something. Sometimes they didn't. And, that's okay too.
Yeah, adding on to that, I also, like, you have focus groups where one person's kind of dominating the conversation, but I also had a couple of focus groups where there was only one or two people that I was speaking with, and they were both very quiet, or one person was just very quiet. And in those cases, like, yeah, going through, asking the questions, we had a list of primary questions, and then under each question we had a few follow-up questions, which didn't all get asked in each focus group, but they were very helpful for if somebody was not really responding well to the first question, or not answering fully, then asking some of those follow-up questions, being a little bit more thorough and going through each one to see if those follow-up questions sparked an idea that they'd like to share. But I think I definitely erred more on the side of not wanting to be pushy. And if somebody, we were grateful for everyone participating, even if, yeah, they gave pretty short answers and the transcript or focus group ended up not taking the full amount of time, that was okay too. And yeah, we're still glad to have them come and share what they wanted to.
Yeah. I'm reminded, sometimes you can sit in a meeting and it's the value of the nonverbal communication to enabling communication. And it's, your eye contact, your body language, your facial expressions, everything as you're engaging with people. And that's all lost as I think back to this, but as it's coming out to the researchers, because the transcripts are gone, there's no recording, right? So we know what we were doing in the room, which was leaning in or smiling or making that eye contact or whatever, just to kind of, but that may be lost in translation, really, as we come out to the final product. But I think that's a huge part of what we probably were all doing in order to get elicit more conversation from people.
I want to mention the one transcript. I obviously wasn't in the room, but a person is not participating or vocal throughout the interview and passes on every question in the schedule. And then at the very end, is there anything else you'd like to share? Just lets loose with a beautiful, eloquent reflection on the impact of library services for people who are incarcerated. So that's not to informed consent, but to the point of people who might be reticent. And also, I think it's maybe worth sharing here that one of the codes we added was neutrality, because we had a positive and a negative. And then we realized that people can have no opinion also. So, a fun grounded theory outcome.